In previous videos, we saw how to navigate the Linux file system and look at the content of text files. In this video, we will go more in depth into the topic of files and directories and discuss how to manage them. First, let's look at the touch command. It updates the last modification time of a file to the current time. We can see the last modified timestamp on the notes.txt file using the ls command like this. To update the modification time, execute the touch command. We can see that the timestamp was updated to the current time. While we normally don't need to update the last modification time of a file, there is a side effect of the touch command that is very useful. If the specified file doesn't exist, the touch command will create it. Notice that the file test.txt doesn't yet exist in the working directory, but it does after we use the touch command. Surprisingly, the touch command is used more to create empty files than to update the last modification time. If we want to make a copy of our notes.txt file, we can use the cp command. In the simplest example, you use the cp command, then specify the source and then the destination, like this. We now have a copy of the file. As you can see in the man page for CP, there are a number of options we can use. The destination can be a directory instead of a file. You can copy multiple files into a destination directory in one command. You can even use the "-n" argument to prevent accidentally overwriting an existing file with the copy. If we want to move the file instead of copying it, we use the move command mv. The syntax is very similar to the cp command. We specify the source and then the destination as arguments like this. Like the cp command, there are many other ways to use the mv command. For example, the destination file name doesn't need to be the same as the original. In fact, the mv command is frequently used to simply rename a file by moving it to a new file name in the same directory. Linux does have a rename command, but it is complicated to use and is used in different situations than simply renaming a single file. If we want to delete the file we just moved, we use the rm command, which is short for remove. Unlike when you delete a file in a file manager, deleting the file at the command line doesn't put it in a recycle bin where you can undelete it. When you delete the file, it is gone. If you look at the man page for the rm command, you can use the -i option to prompt before removing the file to minimize chances of accidentally deleting the wrong file. Now, let's take a look at some commands that allow us to manage directories. First, the make dir command will create a directory. You can see that the directory project was created, and there is nothing in it. If we decide later that we want to remove the directory, we can use the rmdir command like this. Note, the rmdir command doesn't work if the directory has files or other directories in it. It only works if the directory is empty. Here we have a non-empty directory, and rmdir fails to remove it. If you want to delete a non-empty directory, you need to use the rm command used to delete a file. In this case, we add the R and F options indicating we want to recursively remove all the contents of the directory and to not ask for confirmation to delete each one of these resources. Lastly, if you need to rename a directory, you can use the same mv command we used on a file. Most of the commands we discussed when working with files can be used with directories too. In fact, as you learn more about how Linux works, you will discover that it treats many things like a file, even things like your mouse and keyboard.